Welcome to Embracing Infinity, exploring the infinite oneness in the space of love and truth. Host Jennifer Rose is an international spiritual medium, healer, channeler, mentor, and transformational guide. Her focus is encouraging individuals to know themselves within the lens of their divine heart and highest potential, to evolve within the frequency of love and peaceful harmony. Now, here's your host, Jennifer Rose.
Hello, everybody. Happy Friday, and welcome to Embracing Infinity on the Sacred Spiral Network. I'm Jennifer Rose, and I hope you are all doing well today. I'm very excited to have my special guest, Colin Walker, on with me today. This will be his second time coming to Embracing Infinity, and we have a beautiful show coming up ahead for all of you here today. So thank you all for joining as you're starting to come on. I'm so happy that you're all here today and joining us. It's going to be a lot of fun. I want to give a shout out to Kelly Brickle on the producer of our Sacred Spiral Network, for always taking really good care of us when we do our show. And I also want to give a thank you to Veronica Jenkins over on the online psychic readings page. She's allowing us to stream on her page, so we have even more viewers, more family and friends joining us here today. So a big shout out to the ladies for helping us out and helping us to continue growing and sharing and spreading the love. So I hope you're all doing really, really well today. A couple of quick announcements. I have my first Sunday service of 2025 this coming Sunday with a beautiful medium, Annie Shobe from Santa Barbara, as our guest medium. That's going to be this Sunday. And I do a spiritualist modeled after spiritualist service every 2 weeks. And if you would like to join our beautiful family, it's at mediumjenniferrose.com. So I just wanted to put that out there that we have a lovely service coming up for you as well. And with that, I just want to start saying hi to everybody who's here today. So I see Emma has joined us. Hello, happy Friday. Thank you for being here today. Grace, hello, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us here today. Happy Friday to you. And Marcy, hello. Hi, Marcy. Happy Friday. So yeah, I'm seeing some new names and some new faces. Very happy that you're all here today. Hi, Angelo. How are you doing? Thank you, Angelo. You're too sweet. You're too funny. Oh my gosh. Hi, Nigel. How are you doing? Okay. Hi, Nigel. Thank you. Hi, Elizabeth. How are you doing, love? Thanks for joining us here today. And I see Lynn Boyd is here. Good morning to you as well. Thanks for being here today. Hi, Joe. Good evening to you as well. I know over in the UK it's evening time, and here it's just getting lunchtime right now. Hi, Missy. Thank you for being here today. I see Evelyn is here. Hi, Evelyn. And there is Nancy. Nancy is from Team Angel, so she will be here with us on Sunday service this Sunday as well. So good to see you. Thanks for joining us here. Oh, thank you, Evelyn. I went a little sassy mermaid hair today. So thank you, my darling. Hi, Michelle. Thank you for being here. Good to see you. Wow, we've got so many friends. Hi, Bushra. Hello. Thank you for being here. So many beautiful friends here today. I believe I saw Jack Handel earlier as well on, and let me see. And Allison, I just want to make sure I get to everybody. You're all coming on so fast. Hi, Tanya. Thank you for being here. Okay, beautiful. And there's Miss Jennifer McCormick. Hi, Kit Minsky. Good to see you. And Jennifer McCormick has made it as well. And Katie, hello. And Tanya. Wow. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to see all of you here today. And again, thank you. I hope you're doing well. So we've got a beautiful cosmic alignment that's coming into play right now. I'm not an astrology expert, but I can at least feel the energy and tune into the collective with that too. We've got like 6 planets like all coming into alignment, and it's one of the reasons why, despite a lot of very difficult world events that are coming on, a lot of people are feeling kind of a lightness. They're feeling kind of a momentum and a positivity, like wanting to move forward. Hi, Jeffrey. Good to see you. And and it's a really nice feeling to tune into. So what I would love to invite us all to do and welcome into our space in our ethers is this kind of like positive flow that we can kind of like bring in and channel and see what we can create with that for ourselves and for each other as well, so we can do good for the world with this positivity that we can harness, and we can really like um, transform into something quite beautiful, and not only make the world a better place, but live your best life. As I always love to say, we are also here to live our best lives. We are here to be happy. We are here to enjoy living and to feel that full vitality and that vibrance of being. So this would be a beautiful weekend, a beautiful time to kind of like start to like pull that in and harness it. And your happiness actually helps heal the world, so sometimes I do believe sometimes we can feel a little bit like, am I allowed to be happy if these bad things are going on, almost if you feel if it's selfish or wrong. But your happiness, your joy imprints the world with more positivity. It actually helps to lift the energy into a more positive space, so we can have both. We can have deep compassion and empathy, and we can do our part to help, and we can also enjoy living a beautiful life of our own too, that we're creating what is good for us as we're here on this planet, living this magnificent life as you. So, hi, Courtney. Good to see you. I believe we have a few more friends joining us. We've got Marcy as well, Mandy, Louise, Paul. Hello, hello. So, I am so excited you're here. I feel your energy. And I would love to bring on my dear friend, Colin Walker. He is a medium, he is a channel, he is an author. Brand new book. We can't wait to talk about here today. And we're going to be talking about the frequencies of ascension. And we'll be doing some messages afterwards for you all as well. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you. And so let's bring on Colin, please. Hey, Colin.
Hi, hello everybody. Hi Jennifer.
Good to see
Lovely to
you.
be
Thanks
here.
for being. Yeah, thank you for joining me here on the show again today.
Oops, thank you so much for the invite. I've really been looking forward to this. So much, to be honest. I love the title, Frequencies of Ascension. I was like, wow, you couldn't pick a better title. Thank you to Kelly and Veronica. And it's lovely to be here with everybody. So very humbly, thank you so much, Jennifer.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you. Are we getting feedback, or is that just me who's hearing it? Are we good? I just want to make sure. I thought I was giving
Uh,
some a little bit of feedback. We're excited, so excited to have you. There's so much going on with the energy, and everybody's kind of questioning it. Like we're like, what's that we're feeling? What are we tuning
yeah,
into? So it seemed like it's funny because we planned this show up, weeks ago, but here it is, the perfect timing to speak about this. It's as if we may have like already been tuning into what was to become and what was to be. Isn't that interesting? But I would love to share a little bit about you. You've experienced a complete energetic shift into the light and have encountered, let me put my glasses on, my darling, and embrace the light of angels and celestial beings through a profound transformation process and the realization of the emptiness of awareness, which I would love for us to talk about today too. You conduct seminars, workshops, and courses on the nature of reality, cosmic consciousness, and cosmic order, including light, energy, wavelengths, frequencies, and vibrations, and the multidimensional understanding of them. That's kind of important.
yeah.
Uh, You regularly hold debates and discussions on different spiritual topics and teach spiritual awareness and development classes, the workings of mediumship and the psyche, inner light of awareness, and also stillness and meditation through mindfulness. Alan understands the pure concept of living a meaningful life and is committed to assisting and advancing people's spiritual awareness and development to be a vessel and a channel for light. So, just that little bit. That's
It always sounds more fancy when it's written out, doesn't it?
It's beautiful, but I know you well enough. Like that is what you do, and that is what you are, and that is what you're helping people. And what I love, Colin, is because I have a copy of your book here, and I know this is recently published, and it's your A to Z Index of Spiritualism. And everybody, this really is a beautiful book. It literally is A to Z Index of Spiritualism. It's like an encyclopedia with every question, every topic you might be curious on. And you explain it in such a beautiful way. It's very easy to read, easy to understand, but full of depth and meaning. It's so well done. Well done.
Oh, thank you so much, Jennifer. Thank you. It's obviously it's all inspired by Spirit. So the credit goes to Spirit. We're just the vessels, aren't we? But I really enjoyed writing it and going through all the different stages and phases of it. The most important thing, what I have to say about the book is having the personal experience of each of the things, like we all do when we're developing, I suppose, or expanding our consciousness and awareness, is to go through the actual process of it internally and let the soul take us on that journey, and then same as any knowledge, it becomes priceless. We've got it, it's first-hand knowledge. So that was a big point for me with the book. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, brilliantly done. Sorry if we get feedback. Okay, hold on, folks. How long did it take you to write and put together?
That's an interesting question, Jennifer. Very, because I actually wrote it when I started it, I wrote it very fast, and it was in was it 99 or something, 1999. So, and I kind of put it to one side because the timing wasn't right for it to be released. It was clear to me. And I sent it off to 3 publishers, and it was rejected, that was really interesting, because I just took it as a sign, okay, we're not ready for it yet. And in recent years, especially over the last couple of years, and over the last maybe 16, 18 months, then it kind of went back into it. And I had to double the size of it. I had to write double the amount of what I originally done, which I really enjoyed. What was interesting is, as you probably know, some of the sections in there are quite extensive, and some are just very short and precise. And Spirit kept saying, no, leave that at that, or add to this, put some more in that area. So I've just spent over a year adding and taking away, and etc. But ultimately, it's been probably, I don't know, 20, 25 years in the making, I suppose. I don't know, ridiculous, isn't it? But when I first did it, it just took me a week to get the first chapters done in it. But yeah, I mean, it's beneficial, and I think it's for today's world, especially today's spiritualism, because it covers so many important aspects in what's in this spiritual space globally. And I can't really say I've got a favorite aspect. If I was to kind of be pinned down, and there'd be 2, I would say. The first one is acceptance, which the book starts off with, and I think acceptance is almost becoming not the number one aspect on the spiritual path, but it's so big a kind of is relevant to all of us. Accepting ourselves, accepting others, accepting the way the world is, accepting this multidimensional concept, and ourselves as multidimensional forms of light, beings of light. And of course, possibly the major number one for me is light itself in the book. It's all about light, really. And then it goes on to energies, wavelengths, frequencies, and vibrations, which I know I wanted to kind of pause at this point to have a conversation with you about this, with the energies and wavelengths, frequencies, vibrations, because it's interesting over the last 5 years where these words are now really coming to the surface. I mean, if you started talking about energies and light and wavelengths, frequencies and vibrations 30 years ago, he was looked at, even in the spiritual space, he was looked at as if there was something seriously wrong with you. You know, it's like, what? But it's about living the frequencies. It's about being the frequencies, feeling the sensitivity of all the vibrations of who we are. And rather than just speak off the top of our head and say, it's all energies and frequencies, it's like, and for me, it's like, no, it's here. We're actually it. We're feeling and sensing all these amazing vibrations. And that tells us, in a way, that we're moving to this next stage beyond potentially the term humans. We're moving towards the ethereal, that we're recognizing we're ethereal beings, because the ether itself is the energy of the whole. So you better catch me now and again, Jennifer, otherwise I'll just, like, you've let me loose.
Well, you're like me, you start channeling. Yeah, I know how that is. Well, we're getting a lot of questions at your book. So we are going to put the link, everybody, in the comments for you, but it's called the A to Z Index of Spiritualism, a guide to psychic and spiritual development. And it's beautiful, and it covers so many different things. So yeah, I highly recommend this to everybody, but we will put the link in the comments for you all as well too. Let's say hi to a few new people who have joined here today, and then we'll move on. Yeah. So
where do we start?
Yeah, I know we got a lot of friends. I see Renee has joined us as well. Ed Odell is here. He was agreeing. Tip Top Hat, my friend. Good to see you. Denise has joined us as well here today. We've got Renee Gardner. Hello. And Joe White. Is it available on Amazon? I think it's through the link. It's through your special link.
It's through the link only at the moment. We're still contemplating whether to channel it through Amazon. At the moment, it's only through the link what's on there.
Yeah. It's easy. It's easy. Fulham Spiritualist Church is here. Welcome. Good to see you. And we've got Amelia is here. Oh my gosh. Hi, Ronnie. Ronnie Shabazian's here too. Are we all caught up? Michael Christopher as well. Hi, Michael Christopher. Good to see you.
It's amazing.
Okay. We've got so many beautiful friends. Yes.
Yeah,
okay,
thank you so much. It's amazing to see everybody and be. Thank you all for joining us.
Yes, thank you. We've got the link in. Oh, and there's Susan Ross. I love the sunflower. Beautiful. Okay, so there's a lot going on right now, and a lot of us are feeling it and trying to understand these like shifts in the energy. You know, I'm waking up, and every day it's like, ooh, that's there. Oh, that's changed. What's going on there? And we're trying to kind of tune in and figure it out. And we do have this planetary alignment coming in, and so there's frequencies in that, and we're tuning into it and we're feeling it, and this is all helping us in the process of ascension as well. But I thought maybe we could just literally break down for anybody who may not quite understand some of these terms, like what does frequency mean and what does ascension mean, and then when we put them together, what does that mean for us right now?
Yeah, this is so relevant, Jennifer. Just before we step into that, if I may, it's funny that we brought the book up, because the book initially started just as a brief list of contents, and yet it's ended up being a multitude of facets. And when they're looked at separately on their own, have got their own significant meaning. But once they're all aligned and brought together, then the picture is very clear of who we are and what's going on. And which is what we're now about to discuss, this huge shift. We know we're very much aware there's an ascension taking place, and that in itself is exceptionally not just interesting but deeply meaningful. And when we look at how the ascension is taking place, it brings us to this exact point: frequencies and energies and wavelengths, and our sensitivity to them. We can say previously, and there's always a separating line between this weird awakening before an awakening takes place, and we know there's the awakening is individual for each individual itself. We live an existence in a certain way, but after the awakening, then that's it. We kind of just expand and open up into the frequencies of reality, we can say. So I believe what's happening is we have created a scenario, all of us collectively, as beings, some form of beings. We can say spiritual beings, ethereal beings. It's terminology. I think we're coming to the point where terminology is no longer going to matter, because we're going to end up as abiding in that space of knowing. So how do we get from this point where we are at the moment, globally and on a cosmic scale, our relation to the cosmic energies and frequencies? So pinning it down to frequencies, then we can say, okay, what is a frequency? It's literally the speed of which a wavelength travels. Now, without getting to, and I'm not a scientist, so I'm not going to get scientific. Okay, this is Colin with Spiritual Guides, piecing this lot together over the years. So we've got to look at all three factors: wavelengths, frequencies, and vibrations, because them three aspects are the key. And the umbrella of those three is energy, because they exude energy, they create energy. And energy itself ends up also creating vibrations and wavelengths, frequencies. So where do we get into this? Well, if we kind of narrow it down, say, okay, we are a soul, and the soul is light. Now, we can't describe a soul as such because nobody's ever found one. So we kind of created a term for something, what we know we are, but we can't kind of hold it. We just know that this soul is either it's got a form, or it's formless, or it's beyond both of them two. It's neither, because they represent duality. So then we go, okay, let's like narrow it down even more, and let's really ground this energy. And we say, right, from a cosmic level to the earthly, physical, dense plane of what we call matter on the planet, and put that with a spiritual awakening, i.e. an expansion of our consciousness, because that's what an awakening is. It's an expansion of consciousness, expansion of awareness. And rather than think, well, these are just words and terms, to feel it, to actually sense the energy of our consciousness expanding, because part of the key lies there. If we can observe ourselves expanding and our awareness expanding, i.e. what we're doing is radiating and emitting more light. So it's our light then what gives us that sensitivity. Then we go to psychic phenomena. So the psyche is of the mind, we know this. And therefore we say we are not just sensitive beings, sensitive to energies, wavelengths, frequencies, vibrations. We can literally say we are sentient beings. And that chucks into a whole new ballgame. Sentient, So then from that sense of the psychic aspect, we then become aware that there's a multitude of planes of existence, which hopefully we can go into later, because I really want to narrow it down to what's going on the planet at the moment. What we've got is, if we imagine a cosmic wave, the cosmos is moving and it's sending energy through the earth, out in the cosmos, and it's passing the earth. And as it passes through the earth, we experience what's called a vibration change. And as we experience this vibration change, we sense energies on our physical body, the particles and atoms of our physical body. And then we sense them on our emotional bodies, the emotional aspect, and our mental capacity. So this change, what's taking place, is affecting us as individuals, physically, mentally, emotionally. And we're having all kinds of experiences. Sometimes we may feel aches and pains what we've never felt before. We might experience emotions what are completely unfamiliar to us, or in this case, many things. We're feeling emotions what's coming to the surface, which are coming out of the subconscious mind, what we've been carrying. So I think this next year we're going to see a huge letting go process of humanity. But I'm going to pause there. because we can just like keep opening it up.
It's beautiful. Yeah. Talk about the energies, they're affecting my tech here. I can tell like my video and my audio is getting just a little bit of zinged, but
I'm so sorry.
no, it's okay. I'm just going to asking them to help out and calm that down a little bit. But thank you. It's good to know all the cosmic friends are here. They're just causing a little bit of
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ascension.
Oof.
And I know.
Here we are. Here we are. Ascension.
Here we are. Here we are. You know, what I feel like is happening in the ethers is like, how are we ascending if we see all of these really dark, difficult things also happening in the world? You know, the
Yeah.
fires and the disasters and all of that too, and we see that, and so we want to believe, but then we're seeing this over here. Like, how can we shift the perspective? I know for myself, I just try to keep spirit inspires me to keep reminding people that there's so much more beauty that we're just not tuning into and not aware of. There's so much love that's out there. We just have to kind of shift our focus and realize what's there, and also maybe see things from broader perspective, and the unfoldment of things too. But I do feel like it's more than faith. I do feel like we actually can feel something's happening, but it's all in how sometimes our mind interprets what we're feeling. So we feeling the energy changes, and it maybe not understanding it could create a little bit of uncertainty or fear, and then then it's going to create a story of how we're interpret it. But if we learn to, I think like you said, kind of go into the knowing or try to approach it from a heart centered place, maybe we would have a different understanding come forward.
Yeah, this is. I've got to say, first off, Jennifer, this is probably the question of the moment on the planet. It's got to be. And I totally agree with you. We've got to see it from that most profound clarity within ourselves, outwards to its most expansive form from a cosmic perception as well. So then we go, okay, how can we see it from the depth of our soul where that true clarity lies, which is what we're seeking. We're seeking clarity, not just for our own spiritual path, but we're seeking clarity to understand the nature of what's happening on the planet at the moment. And then we go, okay, so then how then can we get onto this cosmic view and ascend our awareness beyond the physical to understand the physical? And part of it, in a way, is we can't avoid this. We've got to go within. We must go within and try and find, for many people, try and find that stillness, because the turbulence of the world at the moment and the turbulence of the vibrations, what's happening around the planet at the moment, are so powerful, and without sounding alarming, it's very likely they're going to become more powerful as the months, weeks and months and the next couple of years go on. And we need that stillness. We need to find that stillness within us. It's so beneficial to go within. Spirit have always been, not just spirit, I'm going to expand a bit further. It's not just spirit, cosmic beings, if you like, guides who help all of us. They've constantly been informing me to try and put this one aspect across, is for people to prepare themselves, get prepared. For many years, they've been trying to say this to people: prepare, just get prepared. And because they can see, they was aware of what was coming to the world, what was going to take place physically. And at the same time, they was also saying, trying to inspire and get people to protect their mind, i.e. protect their field of energy, and not get drawn into this duality, this side or that side. It's really important that nobody gets drawn into either side, because of all the implications what go with that. So we've got to kind of stay in the middle somehow and remove not to be ignorant about what's going on with the current situation, but remove ourselves from the distracted nature of it, because it's constantly with the mind can be distracted to the external. And spirit and those spiritual guides are saying, just come inside because we're there. That's where we can get closest to you. At the same time, we're still continuously expanding. Now, some of the change what's taking place, I believe, is as a collective group of, I'll say, cosmic beings, which is what we all are. Now, imagine all of us as a collective making a decision to come to this plane of existence, not the earth itself, but come to this plane of existence for one purpose and one purpose only: to be present. So by being present in this space, our light is present, and somehow this plane of existence evolves to its next degree, and we don't need to be caught up in the dramas of what's going on, and trust that the planet is a particle in the cosmos. It's not as big as what we think it is, respectfully speaking. It's almost like we can almost liken the particle, the planet as a particle on the furthest most point of our little toe in the vastness of the cosmos. So we've got to try and put it in perspective. What we have a tendency to do is become attached to the world and the environment we live in, and therefore having that sense of attachment is like, oh my God, this is happening, oh my God, that's happening. And these beautiful beings of light are saying, guys, you already know why you're here. You've created this. We've collectively all created this, and we've created this scenario in order for us to be able to evolve to the next phase, whatever that may be. And I think we're at a point now where this duality, this sense of duality, and I know it's quite significant in America at the moment as to what's just been taking place regarding the election. So it wouldn't be really fair not to mention it. And it's like, when the mind gets distracted by the external, it starts getting involved, and then it starts getting worried and concerned. And these beings, our beautiful friends up there, are saying, let go of it. Don't give that your attention, where you get bothered by it and it puts you in a fearful state and feeling anxious and nervous. The focus should always be on the light within, always. We're infinite beings. We've been around for millennia. We're at this moment, we're having phenomenal parallel incarnations right now. People think incarnations are back there and future incarnations are over there. They're not. It's happening right now on all these phenomenal multidimensional levels and vibrations and waves of existence we've yet to even imagine. You know, we can say, oh, well, I know this, I know that. We know nothing. This is how much we know. You know, and it's like, so we have to put it in perspective. And only by sitting back and going inside and finding that clarity of awareness, and we can say, okay, how can I start at the physical level, understand the world? It's like, okay, observe the world, be the sentient being who you are, but your number one focus is to draw inside. Just come and sit and rest inside here, and spiritual guides will come and stand with you, okay? And they then help our mind expand and understand what's going on externally. And as we go through that point, we expand further and we go, okay, we know there's more to the world than what we think. Okay, let's expand further into the universe, beyond the stars. And as we're going towards the stars, then it brings us to this alignment tomorrow, which obviously we know numerology and timing comes into place because everything matters. So what we've got at the minute is this melting pot where we just need to, like, everybody just needs to be calm and peaceful and nice and light, and let your light shine. So I'm pausing again because this is like, we're off on one, aren't we?
That was so beautiful, Colin. Thank you. I know you got my spirit all excited. I'm like, yes, 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 yes. I know. I know.
Oh.
So beautifully said, and I resonate with all of that, because it it's not wrong, but if we start reaching out into all these destinations, yeah, it's kind of like this big energetic expansive world that's infinite, and it's like there's two places where you can be, is in the center point of it all, and you can see in all directions, or you could be on the outer edges of it all, which don't really exist, but looking in and still see it all. And that's where, that's spirit, or that's the creator of it all too. And we don't help the suffering of humanity by adding more suffering to it. So when we get ourselves all upset over these things, it it doesn't necessarily help, because it's adding more of that energy into it. That's why people have a permission to be happy and to live their lives and focus on themselves and spend time with your families, create love, and learn to love yourself. And so what is the going within look like? Like, what does that mean, going within? Like, for me, I really tune into my energy, I tune into my thoughts, I listen to them, I listen to my emotions, I try to go deeper. Well, what's behind that, and what's behind that? And when I spend that time doing that, that's where I start to feel the like you said, the emptiness, but it's also a fullness. It feels very
Correct.
full too.
Yeah. 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 And it's true, Jennifer. I love what you just said. In the emptiness, everything exists, and yet nothing exists in emptiness. So there's it's a bit of a paradox. And the only way we can understand it is by experiencing it. By truly, profoundly understanding it is by experiencing it. And this aspect of going within is moving our conscious awareness. Is our, if we look at a pathway, so to speak, where we give our focus of attention, we perceive what appears to our mind as reality, because that's how we are seeing it. If we perceive the world in a certain way, that's as a direct result of our own perception. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because if our perception is of a certain nature and it has worry, concern, and fear in it, when we see the world externally, then we will also see the worry and fear, concern. If we move our awareness and our focus of attention slightly further to what we can call the subtle mind, or the subtle layers of our own awareness, then our perception changes, and therefore our perception of the external world changes also. So it's not about, I've got to be cautious here, because in a way we know we've got this huge letting go aspect taking place on the planet, and I know a lot of people are letting go in lots of different ways, which is amazing. And one of the ways we can perceive this is by peeling the layers off, taking the layers off what have been around our light, and because we're trying to get that clarity, and it's those layers what's prevented us from having a expansive sense of clarity. So we're chasing that clarity. So in a way, we say we're peeling the layers back, but this is kind of deeper than that. This is like, if we move our mind to such a degree within ourselves and abide in that space where stillness appears, that stillness will bring that clarity. And in that clarity and stillness is where the letting go and healing, all sorts of aspects can take place, without the mind, the individual, actually being aware that that's what's taking place. So in that clarity, then we find that bliss, and we find that clear understanding, not just of the world we live in, but on the many levels way beyond this human experience. And that's the one what we're all being guided to. That's the position and location we're all being guided to put ourselves in. So then we can say and look at the world and go, okay, this has changed now for me. My mind has changed, so that what I'm seeing has changed. And I'm seeing everything as these phenomenal aspects and facets of light everywhere I'm seeing. And if I'm seeing these aspects of what we may refer to as negativity and tumultuous events, weather conditions, military conditions, political conditions, religious conditions, these like big, what we refer to as the big five, if you like, on the planet. We're not attached to them. We're observing them, and we can see that they're really less than a drop in the ocean, in the whole. But because our mind gets so attached to them, they appear bigger. And the more we get involved in them, they get bigger and bigger. And as they grow within our mind, the mind becomes fearful. So it's like we have to reduce everything back to its original state. And by reducing everything back to its original state, to the source, what we're doing is putting everything in its correct place, which is everything began with a thought. Everything. So it's like, okay, my thought of that situation was just one single thought, and each thought is like one single particle. It just came into our awareness. It's like a little cloud passing the sky, and we catch it, we give it attention, and then we allow it to grow because we get more and more attached to it. So when it comes to global affairs, it's to do with attachment, our sense of attachment, and especially on one frequency, when we're talking about frequencies. And this is what I find absolutely fascinating. When we're speaking of frequencies, there's many frequencies of attachment. So if we're attached to dramas, that's what we're giving our focused attention to. And so we can just go, well, it's simple. I'm having the thought. I had the thought to get attached in the first place. Let me go back to the original thought. Well, as soon as we start going back to the original thought, those dramas dissolve. They no longer exist because we've then gone, well, I can't see them no more. It's just my thought of it. And the same with what's going on the planet. If we look at things from that cosmic point of view, then we'll put that, they'll all be placed in the right perspective. And the global event what's taking place is simply what's been termed at the moment as an ascension process. Now, I'm going to kind of jump a little bit, if I may. We already are ascended beings. We already are awakened. What we're doing is just grabbing the terminology to help us reflect that truth back to who we are. So it's like, okay, we just need to be present. We need to be in the moment. We need to find that acceptance and just go, okay, I'm accepting everything for what it is, however difficult it is. And I know there's lots of wavelengths and frequencies floating around, and I'm feeling all sorts. I mean, emotions, you know, there's a multitude of emotions inside all of us. Emotion is what it says. It's energy in motion. It's just moving. Everything's just moving. So our biggest issue, to be honest, is control. We see something what we deem to be incorrect, and we want to step in and control it. And in effect, this is delicate, but that has some bearing, because then we're bringing karma into play. Now, if we've decided that this is what's going to take place on this small particle we call the planet, and as a side note, we seriously underestimate the planet. Seriously. Oh, the planet needs healing. Oh, it's something wrong with it. It's like, we've been here 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and we really think we know what this thing is, what's been around for millennia. You know, we can, that's not knocking some of the bad things and some of the aspects, because we don't want to see. I look around the planet and I see trash and rubbish, and I see the war-torn countries devastated, etc., and all sorts. But the planet's sitting there laughing at us, going, are you kidding me? I know exactly what's happening. I'll sort it out, don't worry. We just need to have this faith and trust that existence knows what it's doing, and we are that existence. We're not separate from it. So, and as we venture through this journey, this next few weeks and months and the next couple of years, hold that stillness, feel that joy. And when we see the pain and the suffering, rather than go into fearful negative mode, turn our lights up even brighter, because it's our light what's causing all this, what's going on the planet. Some of these negative, what we would deem as negative aspects, are as a direct result because of the light, of this collective light, what we're all emanating at the minute. is causing this reaction, because it's got to come to the surface. It's just like an illness. It's got to come out. And that's what we're seeing. So we can expect that the more the light shines, and as this ascension process continues, then we're going to see more of these events around the world. And we just need to stay inside, stay balanced, and keep aligned. And exactly what you've said, Jennifer, keep that alignment, keep that center point within us, and move from there. Right, I'm stopping again.
Oh gosh, I'm still getting feedback with these AirPods. But what that was so beautiful, and there was like so much there. And what you said at the end really caught my attention is the light. If we could understand that the light illuminates, and within the illumination, though, that is how we move more into this transformation or this transmutation. We can't. If we don't know what's there, how are we supposed to learn from it and grow from it and transform it and ascend it, right? We have to kind of like see what's there. So it is kind of a moving kind of up and out, right? And darkness is attracted to light, right? The seed sprouts and is like, I want to get to the light. I want to get to the, right? And so we can hold the space. And in that holding of the space where our energy is not, basically willy-nilly all over the place, we have a whole lot more energy than to emit of that light that you're saying, if that makes sense. Yeah. And so in the integration process of self, where we're not so tied into all of these, perspectives, and I see what happens is, the energy goes very up here in our mental space, and just kind of learning to bring that down into a more grounded place can help with that, just as like a simple term, and becoming acquainted with your breath, like feeling your breath inside your body, to help calm the nervous system down, so then we can move into more of that still space. And what you were speaking of when we were speaking early before we started the live too, it's just in this discussion itself will help us to reach more of that stillness. It'll help us to reach more of that, because like we've moved the energy, we've gotten to, a point where we go, oh, and then we can kind of take a breath, because it needed to be said. It needed, there's frequency and love in the words as we're kind of channeling them through to with our group here today as well.
Yeah.
And I had one other thought, but I lost it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but I do believe that something really big and beautiful is happening, and I mean I can feel it. It's there, and it's there's love there. It's like right now in this moment there is love. I remembered what I was going to say is in meditation, a lot of times people try to they struggle because they're like, oh, my mind won't stop thinking, even if I try to focus on my breath, even if I try to expand my conscious. Eventually you do. It's like learning how to ride a bike. Eventually it gets better, but I have heard of the practice of just taking the time when you go into meditation with no end point. So you don't have to be anywhere. So maybe do this at night or something like that, and allow the mind just to run. Just let it run. And eventually it will feel satisfied and happy and heard. Like, okay, I'm happy now. And then sometimes people can go into a deeper state than they ever thought possible before.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting, Jennifer, and it's funny. I agree with what you were saying. You actually came up with something what was on the tip of my tongue, to be honest. And I was like, she's just said it. This is brilliant. Regarding meditation is, well, the same as spiritual gifts, if we call them gifts, which I will do in this moment. We should stop trying. We should not try, because in trying we create tension. The mind gets tense, and also have no expectations. Exactly, don't have an end. Don't visualize what you think you would like as an outcome. That then is having expectations, and we all know when we have expectations, we fall flat on our face, on so many occasions. So it's like, so remove this thought, remove that thought, and just allow yourself to be, and it will naturally begin to flow. We think often with meditation, we need to, like, again, what you've said, we should move our mind out the way. And it's like, no, we don't need to move nothing out the way. We need to hold our point of focus and concentration and let that lead us with our spiritual guides or beings or whoever's guiding us. So therefore, we then enter naturally. Often, and this is a big issue of this one, Jennifer, what I found. And for me, humanity is I'm going to say it. Sometimes it looks like humanity's lost the plot with this one. Respectfully, including myself, obviously. We just need to let go of control on all these levels and all these facets and aspects. We just need to let go of control. The only time control helps, to be quite honest, is during meditation. And that's at the initial start where we control our mind to go in. That one is okay, because we're holding a point of focus. Okay. But in life itself, we need to let go of control. We need to let go of our opinions, because we like to hold on to our opinions, don't we? I'm right, you're wrong. We love that one, don't we? My opinion is better than yours. It's like, let go of your opinions, okay, and just become that natural channel. Let go of the grasping of controlling circumstances and people and, all the rest of it. Like, that's not beneficial either, okay? That ends up in disappointment. So, and there's so many other peripheral aspects what's going on, okay? So you just go, where does that leave us? Well, actually, it leaves us in the most magical place. It leaves us, and I know there's going to be a shift in frequencies at this moment, because I'm feeling spirit. I'm feeling them kind of wanting to start to come in a bit closer. So it leaves us with the opportunity to bathe in pure love. In the love, what we've never been able to find in this world. However hard we've tried and looked for it. When we let go, that is the space we abide within. And it permeates and emanates from the center point of our being. And in that gentleness of love, we move evolution to its new phase. We move to that point of resonance of being, where the cataclysms of nature fall silent and quiet. And that blissful state of joy arises. And as it arises, we embrace one another without any condition whatsoever. And in that space is where we create the new earth. And that new earth will no longer exist as an earth. It will just exist as a form of energy where we will dance and levitate across its planes and waves of its existence in this phenomenal harmonics of existence in the cosmos. This is what we're preventing by controlling. This is what's stopping us getting to that space, our control and our need to feed our insecurities. We are not insecure beings. We're exceptionally secure beings. We're phenomenal beings. We're galactic, intergalactic. We're cosmic beings. We don't need reassurance from anything or anyone, because we are everything and everyone and all things. We simply need to allow that light to emanate from the core of our essence. And what if we call it a soul, so be it, but the core of our essence. And realize that everything around us, in the form we perceive it, does not actually exist. It's only because we think it exists in its form. So once we move beyond that and realize that essence of emptiness, we become everything. And in that, we abide in a knowing. That we know the light because we are the light. We know galactic, we know galactic beings, we know these cosmic beings. and star beings, whatever term the human mind wants to give it. We're just trying to describe something which is indescribable with human language. So we're at the precipice of a phenomenal switch into a way of being that is celestial in its purity, and the purity of what we are is incredible. It's like we've almost abused ourselves with all these dense frequencies and our grasping nature. And there is hope. There's hope for all of us, including all the souls what may be taking their transition right now in this moment. There's hope, and that hope is that this physical world isn't the be-all and end-all. The essence of who we are on a cosmic scale is the essence of who we are, individually and collectively, and beyond. So it's stunning. It's stunning. We need to look at each other and just think, you guys are phenomenal. All of you. You just need to do it. We just need to look at it and just see these shimmering, multi-dimensional beings in front of us as we look at each one and every person what appears to our mind. And just feel into that light, feel into that, because it's way beyond the control we think and imagine. I know there's going to be frequencies coming up tonight, Jennifer.
I know. The Mother Teresa always said we crave love, to feel loved and to be loved, more than bread and water. So even if we were starving and dehydrated, we would choose love over food and water, and that part in us needs our love. That part of us needs our love, and everything else is on top of that just pure innocent heart that says, I love you and I want to love and be loved. I want to put my love out there and I want to see it reflected back to me. And it is the most beautiful innocence, and if we can come back to this part of us and bring it into, the all that it is.
Yeah.
And it's like the all of me loving the all of you, and that is unconditional love. It is without judgment. It's without the layers. It is the empty stillness, which is also the fullness. And we're remembering, like you said, we can't put it into words, but the all that is, ever was, and will be, and we can feel it and we can touch it, and we know it's there and we know it's us, but it's also wordless. At the same time. So we get into the riddles and the rhymes and the paradoxes of it all, but yet it's just one infinite heart.
Totally. Yeah. This is phenomenal, because I think we've been brought here into a gathering, all of us, everybody what's watching, wherever you're sitting, whatever we're doing, we're the ones what's making this change. We're the ones what's generating this light at this moment together, because I should imagine some of you guys sitting there just feeling this light and this peace, so it's almost as if when we bring our mind together, that's what's going to offer that healing. That's what's going to vibrate through the ether of this world. And saying that, talking about the ether, we have created a collective mass of mental and emotional energies which has gathered around this world. Our thoughts and our emotions are in this space, in that ether, in the etheric web of the world. And I think we're at a moment where I know what's happening. We are clearing the etheric web of this planet. And by coming together like we do here, and it could be any number of you guys sitting out there just sitting here saying the same as what me and Jennifer are saying. This is the equanimity between all of us. It's this light what's transforming everything. It's this light what's rescuing souls upon the deep, dark planes of existence what are in desperate need of our light. Desperate need of our light. Whether you agree with those planes or not, we have to accept it. There's souls being drawn to this light of this space right now as we're talking, where we all are. Doesn't matter whatever part of the world we're in at the moment, we are connected right now on a grid, mentally, emotionally, energetic with our light. And there are thousands of souls observing and watching us right now as we're talking and being who we are right now on different planes, rejoicing at the fact that we're managing somehow through the mist and the fog and the haze of all the distractions to be able to come together and just sit in this space and this peace and generate this light in a way without even trying. We're just doing it. Nobody's really having a thought, I'm going to sit here and send light all the way around this, and it's not happening. It's just like, that's the reality of what's happening right now. And the many incarnations of each one of us, also, if you imagine the many incarnations we've all had individually, then put us all together right now, all of us, what's on this space, all them incarnations, what on earth is going on all them levels? Yeah, I mean, this is phenomenal stuff. It's like, can we comprehend that? We can have a glimpse of it. We say, oh, well, how was this in the past life? Well, forget that one. Let's go back, a few millennia and, a few thousand of your lifetimes. Those aspects of those lifetimes are here, present right now, and shining and radiating through us as a collective on this space. That is not just doing something on this planet. That is doing something through the ether of this planet, through the essence of the scale is unimaginable with a human mind. You better shut me up, Jennifer.
I know.
Come on.
It's know thyself. And when you the know thyself and know thyself as love, unconditional, holding everything all in its infinite magnificence and seeing there's somehow a divine perfection and beauty. And when we pull that in to us and emanate it out, we start to see the greater reality of that love and of that light and of that magnificent, and everything changes. So it's just this cosmic ripple effect. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And you can tell me Jennifer Rose looks through rose-colored glasses, because that's how I talk all the time. But for me, I see the evidence of it. It happens all around me. I'm very aware of it too. And I know that my love and my joy makes a bigger difference than getting all mad about everything.
Of course.
And
yeah.
And thank you, Colin. Thank you.
No, thank you, Jen.
There's the most beautiful spirit connecting us all together. My room is filled with so much love, and I'm trying not to get too emotional from it, because it's got me quite moved.
Go for it. Yeah.
I'm not trying to. It's got me. Kit's really enjoying. He wants you to go on and on and on. And I just feel so moved as we are all together. I know. There's been some beautiful comments here. If you have time, love, could we entertain either some questions from our friends here, or
Definitely.
a few messages for our friends here? So for those who are still on and would be interested in asking a question for Colin or myself, or getting a message, please put that into the comments. Let us know that you're open, and then we would see if we're drawn to you. Or if it's a question, put your question in there if you have a question about what we've been speaking about here today. And then we will go from there and let us know who's here. Yeah, it's been a lot of beautiful interaction. I've seen everybody is just loving what you've been speaking of here today too. So let's go ahead and see. So yeah, please put the open. That's your consent to receiving a message. Everybody's feeling the love. So I'll let you start if you wouldn't mind, Colin. And can you see the comments there to see who's here?
Yeah, I can, Jennifer. Yeah, there was a question earlier, and I think it was Nigel, which I kind of, if I may, quickly respond to. It was about
Yeah,
something to do with beyond the ether.
yeah, I see it here.
It's, I think it. Oh, have you
Yeah,
found it? Oh, I can't find it.
yeah, I see it. I'm just not able. So Kelly, it's up at 12:56 in our time. Is it too early to talk about beyond the ether and what is awaiting our arrival beyond this level of our current understanding? There we
Got
go.
it. Oh, thank you, Kelly, so much. Well, beautiful question, Nigel. First thing I would say is we've already arrived. That would be the first thing, because we're projecting into the future, respectfully, and what's awaiting. And I get it. And he's just been coming out in here. So beyond the ether, I'm just going to take a bit of a step back here because I know, and I understand and respect a lot of people don't even understand about the ether and its importance. And I think that's a factor where many are just starting to learn and grasp the concept of what the ether is. And I think, so we have to be cautious about going beyond it. And I mean, I understand the ether, but that's limited. So just talking on the ether, if I may, just quickly to everybody, the ether is a vacuum of space where all wavelength frequencies and vibrations travel through. Now, when we think of the chakras, we're in this swirling mass of energy, and where lines of force and energy meet, that's the ether, that's creating the chakras. And on those wavelengths and frequencies of vibrations inside that space, i.e., where our chakras are, is our thoughts and emotions as particles riding those waves. And therefore, that's why we say, okay, I need to clear this chakra, that chakra. And then when we clear the chakras, we need to understand which frequency and vibration or wave of thoughts and emotions we're clearing. So there's a lot of depth to the ether, to be honest. And then we can say, okay, we've got an etheric body, which we're aware of, and the earth has got an etheric body and an etheric web. So we're still at the very kind of beginning of understanding the ether, Nigel, if that makes sense. Now, what's beyond it? Well, we know there's no separation, no such thing as separation, and everything is interconnected. So beyond it, then, because the ether is obviously light. Now, I would just be slightly cautious with it because the ether permeates all space. It may even represent space itself. Okay, so if we're going to hazard a guess as to what's beyond ether, then we're talking pure light. But in that pure light, when I say pure light, we've got to get through the vibrations, the various vibrations of the light to get to the purest point of it. So it's a bit like standing at a distance from the sun and moving closer to it. As we move closer to it, it's going to get more and more intense. Okay. Now, the big question, really, what we could be asking on this one is, and I'm playing here, is what's beyond light? That could be the thing what we're talking. When we talk, and this relates to cosmic energy and cosmic beings, and when we're speaking about Arcturians and galactic beings, and etc., etc. So we can say, okay, there's all these various planes of existence, the spirit planes. There's all these different people or souls on those planes, from our family and friends and spiritual guides, and the spiritual guides of spiritual guides, and their spiritual guides of their guides, etc. Then spiritual masters and ascended masters, and so on, so on, so on. It just goes on. It's infinity itself. So the point is that, okay, let's go to the cosmos and cosmic beings. Okay, then we get to the point. What's beyond all them lot? So, brilliant question, Nigel. Thank you so much. I hope that's answered some of it in part. Did you notice I was non-committal as well?
By the way, Nigel and anyone who's recently joined us, Ether and all of the other topics that we've been discussing is in Colin's book. So Just so you know, like it's all here. I'm telling you, when he says A to Z, he means A to Z. It's all there. So I highly recommend it. If our beautiful Kelly can put the link in the comments again, so if anyone wants to click on the link, you can order his book. It's not on Amazon, but it's from this link is very easy to navigate, so that you can purchase a copy of that for yourself. I highly recommend it too. So of course
Jennifer,
it is.
thank you.
Of course, Ether's in there. I know. I feel so lucky. I, I bought a few copies. So,
And it's true, guys. Jennifer did. Oh, so that last one, there was a question there about somebody's mum, Jennifer, in hospital. Thank you, Nigel.
Yes, let's see if we can find that one.
Yeah.
Kim is asking, she can't speak and is in the hospital. We're trying to get her home. What can we do for her mom?
But I would say the first thing, what I'm getting, Kim, is merely be present around her at this moment and just emanate your light, okay? Because that's where the positive, I can see a door opening, to be honest, as you just, and the family members, if you just stand and be around her, that will help spirit come in and draw close, and a door will open from that point. So that's all I can say on that one. It's kind of like more of a direct, specific thing. But also, Kim, it's okay somebody saying let go of your worries and concerns, okay? But seriously, the best thing you can do is just smile that beautiful smile of joy, okay? We've got spirit here, obviously overseeing what's going on. And they're aware there's all the different concerns from different minds, what's involved in this, okay? But your mum will benefit best by your presence and just shining your light. That she'll get the healing from that, okay? And just have, if you can, I'm being told, just try to deepen your sense of acceptance about the situation, because in that you'll have a greater understanding, okay? I do feel, and I'm watching spirit around your mum, literally moving light throughout her body, along her body, okay? So thank you, Kim.
Yeah. Oh, I keep getting feedback. It's okay. There's just a lot of energy. I was feeling too, like, perhaps singing, playing some music, some hand holding, some touching of the feet as well. Just as a medium, I've known that so many spirits who have come through have so appreciated the love that they received, and that tenderness and that care that they received while they were, getting close to the time, or while they were just, ill in the hospital and recovering. Those are things that they remembered, and to see your face, like Colin was saying, to see your face looking down upon her, smiling and glowing and radiating and shine, so that she knows she's loved. It's a beautiful gift. So I just feel like playing some music and some singing too would be really, really well received. So I hope that's helpful, and thank you for being here with us today. I appreciate you. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Kim.
Yeah. She's crying. Oh, yeah. We love you. Oh, beautiful. You do sing to her. Beautiful. Yeah. That's when the angels come, That is when the angels come. Okay, Evelyn is saying Dolores Cannon describes separation um, of the two earths, one that holds ascension arising from the lower vibrations that are lower vibrations. I would appreciate your ideas on this. Yeah, I've heard a lot of the two worlds. I've heard that over the years, over the past couple of decades. It's like that the world is splitting off.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? It sounded good when it first came out. Now I'm like, I don't know. That sounds very separation. It sounds very like we're more separation. It sometimes channeled material can be a bit of a riddle, or a bit of a lesson for us to find what's going to come next underneath that.
Yeah, I agree. I'm kind of happy to hear what you've just said on that as well, Jennifer, because this is, and much respect to Dolores Cannon, obviously. It's difficult because it means I'm getting asked to reflect on somebody else's channel, which I'm a little bit apprehensive to. So I won't kind of answer that because it's another mind's thought and experiences, and I have to respect that. From my own point of view, we're moving towards a singularity, and because we're coming out of the duality, we're coming out of the age of what I call the age of the ego. And the age of the ego is where we've faced separation and duality and polarity. And once we kind of grab that concept or sense that concept to a certain frequency of our own understanding of what duality and polarity means, we'll understand separation. And from that, we then recognize the essence of oneness, because we're observing two sides, and then the oneness is the thing what's observing it. What I would say is we are reaching what's called 0 point, where the polarities are going to come together, and on one side we're going to have one, lots of different energies. On the other side, we're going to have these energies, because then we can remove ourselves of this business of right or wrong, and we'll have the knowing of our own conscience, and that will be guiding us. As far as the earth separating, which again, I'm not going to speak on Dolores Cannon, bless her. My understanding is that and this is connected to this ascension process, that every soul on the earth will ascend, every single soul. And that might be difficult for a lot of people to grasp at this moment, especially with current circumstances. But please don't judge another soul. We ain't got the full picture of what's going on, cosmically speaking. However bad you may perceive that mind or other people to be, we've got to be so careful. We don't have the right to judge. It's an illusion. This thing, I'm judging this, or I've got the right to forgive this. They're illusions in our consciousness. They don't exist in our pure state. So as we ascend, and every soul ascends, the interesting point for me is this, that we are transforming the old energy as in the form mainly generally known as by letting go. Now, the letting go process is actually a transformation of old energy into new. So that tells us we are transformers. We're transformers of energy. Now, put on a cosmic scale, we're transformers of cosmic energy. We're cosmic beings transforming energy. We start to get the picture, don't we? So therefore, in the ascension process, and will there be a separation of the earth? I don't believe there will. I believe what's happening is the earth is transforming, and we know the poles are shifting. We know the ice packs are melting. And as the ice packs melt and thaw out, very strange, as that's taking place, we're experiencing an expansion of our own awareness during that same process. So there's a thawing out. Now, if there's a thawing out, we've got to start looking at thermodynamics, how thermodynamics work. It's almost as if we was in an incubator previously, and in a suspended state of animation, and now we're becoming animated. And as we become animated, and the earth changes, and the temperature goes up, and I don't mean the earth's temperature as such, I mean the light shines brighter, we thaw out even more, and as we thaw out even more, we become more expanded, and the ascension process takes place from there. So what we're looking at is, and I'll use a word, we're looking at a purification process taking place. We're purifying the old stuff within us, and we're purifying the conditions of the earth, and we're purifying the etheric web. We're cleansing everything in order to transform everything. So from that, there'll just be the oneness. There won't be a separation as far as I understand. And to be quite honest, I feel that very strongly. Because we're coming out of the age of separation and duality. And just as a side note, when we look at some of these, what we term negative aspects on the planet, that's as a direct result of ego energy. I want to control, wherever that control is coming from. I have a need to control because of my insecurity, because of my I. But the I is an illusion. Anybody, we can ask anybody, go this ego, what everybody's talking about, please pick it up and put it on the table so we can all see it. We can't find it. We might see reflections of negative energy, what we refer to as negative energy. They're not. They're merely frequencies and vibrations of a lower density. So as we ascend, that light and those frequencies and vibrations, our awareness and consciousness is literally moving to finer, pure frequencies. And in that finer, pure frequencies, our awareness then becomes clearer and lighter, and therefore the light is shining brighter. So this leads us all the way back to the very beginning, which is frequencies and energies. We're literally moving through frequencies, and we're going from the dense, what we can say, the densities and the lower vibrations and frequencies of our own awareness to the higher, purer state. And it's interesting through evolution, if you look how we've evolved through using this technique, we've literally grown over the period of time, what we think is time. And I know we ain't got time to talk about time, but I'd like to quickly just put this in, because time is, again, connected to our awareness, which is connected to the frequency, what we understand. So as we're perceiving something, there's a frequency attached to it. We know time, it can be measured, it's linear, get from point A to point B. Well, that's because our mind is perceiving it from a certain frequency. As we move our frequency of awareness to a more expanded one, an ascended one, that's why time doesn't exist on those frequencies, because our mind is resonating at such a frequency. It's not dense. It doesn't perceive time as we understand it with this ordinary mind, if that makes sense. Yeah, I've gone again. Sorry.
It's okay. Everybody loves it. Sorry.
Good question, Evelyn.
Yeah, I know it's a great question, and what's interesting is and Dolores isn't the first person who came up with these sort of two worlds kind of thing, because I've seen it come in other channels, a few decades ago too. But there's always, there's always like a back end of it, or another way of looking at it too, and it's like, for me, within my transformation, it's like I had a separation of my understanding of me as a separate self. So I separated from my separation, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And we get in a little bit of a riddle, a little bit of a paradox, right? And then with that separation of separation, then there became integration. So sometimes one becomes two, becomes one again, so it's interesting. So maybe perhaps, in the evolution, we're one becoming two, becoming one, or seeing ourselves as two and moving back into the one. And it's this little cosmic dance that we do. Is that interesting?
Very, very, Jennifer.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like, it's like we can liken it to two different things initially. We can liken it to ourselves as being this huge, phenomenal crystal with all these different facets, and our awareness is at the center point of that in that crystal, and as it turns and looks and gives something its attention, what it's doing is it's giving a certain facet its attention. Now, because the awareness has got a multitude of vibrations to it, we then can see our, let's say, and I can't believe they're bringing this into it at the moment, we can talk about what's referred to as our present consciousness, our present awareness, then our subconscious awareness, and our soul conscious awareness. Now, I don't want to just say there's just three of them. There's obviously a multitude of frequencies, and each one can observe all the rest. So in effect, we're observing ourselves from all these different perspectives and frequencies simultaneously. So somewhere in Colin and Jennifer's periphery, there's all these other aspects observing this moment and being aware of it. And so what we're looking at then is frequencies of awareness, which then takes us to light. Because if we split a particle of light and they separate, they're both still conscious of each other. So therefore they're observing and being aware. Now, if we was to multiply that, then we can say there's a multitude of particles of light, all conscious of every other one. And whether they separate or come back together, in a way, isn't the question what we're supposed to be asking. They are just, it just is. It's just happening. Because as soon as we start asking about one and the other, we're creating more separation, if that makes sense. So we just go, okay, in this moment, everything is happening, it just is. And yeah, and so on. Wow. I wasn't expecting this conversation tonight, Jennifer.
I do believe that came up earlier. It just is. that was up in the comments earlier. It just is. So sometimes like that's like it just is. It's just all there. It's just the infinite oneness of being, and there we are. And it's just so beautiful. Um, oh, I think we're going to have to get together again. I have seen so much positivity, and everybody is loving. Evelyn is very grateful for you answering her question as well too. But I think we'll have to do this again if you wouldn't mind and be so gracious, Colin too. Um,
Yes, I'd love to. Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody, again, this is Colin's book, The A to Z Index of Spiritualism. We'll put the link in the comments for you, A Guide to the Psychic and Spiritual Development. It's got everything in there, literally from A to Z, like an encyclopedia, very well written, very easy to understand, and very thoughtful too. You can follow Colin on the Menorca Consciousness group over on Facebook, and subscribe to his channel on YouTube as well, Menorca Consciousness group. And please follow Miss Kelly Brickle and myself and the Sacred Spiral Network. Please give a little heart to our videos over there in the feed, and we thank you for all of your love and comments, tags, shares, and subscriptions as well. We so appreciate the love and that you've returned, and your beautiful positive energy that you have all brought here today too. Let's see here. Oh, can we go back one? Let me see. How to just embrace and integrate new and developing gifts related to ascension for myself, but also for all of us. How to embrace and integrate new and developing gifts. Take your time. Take your time. Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say too. Let it all marinate.
Yeah.
What would you like to add to that, Colin?
There's two things here. There's two frequencies coming in, Carrie. It's a beautiful question. Just peel those layers off and be gentle with yourself, and dissolve those aspects. What are you carrying inside you? And I know there's aspects, because I'm sensing spirit making me aware that there's aspects going on, and just let them naturally unfold. And I always say the most important thing about working with spiritual gifts, probably the number one thing, is enjoy it. Make joy the number one thing when you're developing or training, whether it's mediumship, healing, or whatever it is in this phenomenal spiritual space globally and beyond. Just feel that joy in everything you do with it. And I know Jennifer would go, and don't forget love. So of course.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. Oh, sorry about the feedback, everybody, too. And, when you go into this work of developing your gifts, it will transform you. It will just come to you. So don't worry, just relax, let go, and let it all come to you, and just kind of, follow your soul, follow your heart with all of that too. And don't worry about what anybody else is doing. Just focus on yourself and your growth, and trust, and learn to trust you. It's a different way of working, but it'll be a beautiful experience and transformation and adventure for you as well. Heidi was mentioning the nesting dolls, that the layers, it's like peeling off the nesting dolls too. And
yeah.
And like you said, the facets, we're all like a big diamond with all of these facets of self. And that's why we're so multidimensional, and it all matters, and it's all coming together, in the magnificent being of us, and how it's all interwoven and connected. And I get all excited when I talk about this, but those layers, really are like the personality, and they have a purpose and they have a reason, but at the core of that is the essence of you. It's beautiful. Yeah. And it's love.
I don't know if anybody can see this, Jennifer, but I'll hold up. This, in a way, if we imagine our soul at the center, or our awareness being the soul being our awareness, and imagine it being at the center point of that.
Yeah.
It's like that's one perception of, in a way, of who and what we are. We're a vortex of energy, which is filled and vibrating at a phenomenal rate and with an infinite number of other vortices and spirals of energy within and around them. That's who we are. Anyway,
Yeah.
brilliant.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, goodness. Any last minute words, my dear friend, as we finish up for today?
Exceptionally humbling, Jennifer. Just thank you to yourself, to Veronica, and especially to Colin. I just say this is why I don't read them. Especially to Kelly. A special thanks to everybody what's joined us, and thank you. I believe we've shifted a part of the world this evening and a piece of energy somewhere and transformed it in a positive way. And exceptionally to those beings of light in those beautiful dimensions within and around us, who, without which it won't be possible to come together in this space. So it's exceptionally humbling. Thank you more than anything, Jennifer.
Thank you, Colin. I feel the same. I'm going to get rid of these AirPods.
If I may suggest one thing, I'm more than happy if Jennifer would be up for it to maybe on one evening just do a purely question and answer.
Yes. Yeah, I believe we
think
spoke about that last time too. There's just so much for us to cover. So absolutely, we can do a Q&A. We'll put that together, and so for everybody can come with their spiritual questions, and that would be lovely to do together as well. And thank you for your beautiful words and sharing your wisdom and your knowledge, and most of all your heart and your love. And we've created a beautiful container of love and of light, but it's very palpable. Like you said, we can't put into words, but it's indeed very palpable as well too. And if we today have known more love, then everything has happened as it should have been, and our mission has been accomplished here today, because that is our evolution, that is our destiny. So I am very humbled to have you here with us here today. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And a big thanks again to everybody else here today, and to Kelly and to Veronica. I know Kelly has got a show coming up in about 50 minutes, everybody. So enough time to go get a snack or a quick lunch and then come back on board. And we look forward to that. And thank you so much, Colin, for being my special guest here today on Embracing Infinity. Everybody, please enjoy your weekend. Live well, love you well, and always walk with grace, because those steps will indeed take you far. We will see you next Friday on Embracing Infinity. All of my love, hugs, and kisses to each and every one of you, and lots of love. Have a beautiful afternoon, evening, and weekend up ahead. See you later. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.